Hey guys, this is Matthew Masood, and I'm going to be going over why I stopped buying properties older than 1980 is where I kind of set my line. I'll look at stuff in the 1970s, but typically I want 1980s plus. And I'm going to be going over why and going over some of the inspection reports and like that of different properties I've bought before 1980 and after 1980, and I'll make my case. Now, I started out buying 1950s properties. So even though I've set this rule now, I understand if you're getting started, there's a price point that kind of comes with older properties, and that's one of the pros. But it's also, it's going to be a con when you look at it from a capex perspective. But that's really the first reason that I don't buy properties older than 1980 is just the deferred maintenance. These things are simply like I got an inspection report here of a 1950s property. They're just older. The HVACs now they may have been updated in some cases. If someone rewired the building and put new HVACs and new plumbing and changed the roof, like in theory, some of these older properties are actually built pretty well, but the components need to be changed out. But I mean, look at these. This is what 30-year-old HVAC, maybe. I don't know. I'm no HVAC technician, but this is old. Plumbing is old. Some of these water heaters have been changed. Those don't last that long, so those have to have been changed typically from the original condition. And it's an older building. This one, I mean, look at those. Like anything that's original is going to be reaching the end of its lifestyle. It's especially the longer lasting stuff like the electrical system, the plumbing, and all that. Now, I'm no contractor, but I look at it from an investment perspective. Okay, one day these are going to go out, and the inspector tells me like, "Hey, these are old." That's what the job of the inspector. And I know these are going to go bad on me, and I don't know how long, but they're not going to last very long. The inspector tells me I get some contractors out there. They're like, as long as it keeps running, use it. Once it stops running, switch it out. But you don't know how long this is going to last. And so I got to budget that in. I got to budget that into my capex. So you have the big ones are roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Hopefully, I'm not missing one. But you just pull up your inspection report and go through it. And I make a joke like the longer, the more pages the inspection report, the less likely I am to buy the property. And even though some inspection reports, especially on large properties, might be massive, it's a joke I make. I'll show you like another inspection report here of a newer property. And then look, like you have newer HVACs. It was a 6 unit. This is a commercial building, 6 unit commercial building built 1995, newer build. And as you can see, like even the oldest thing in there is what 30 years old. That's the oldest thing in there. So even stuff that's original, like I think this roof might be original, but these roofs typically last 40, 50 years. And it's been TPO'd already. So like this in this inspection report, even though this property is much bigger, this inspection report is only 23 pages. So you get shorter inspection reports. Generally, things are better. In this case, this building built 1995. It was really small stuff. Like this is what we're looking at here. Some a rusting door in the back, a cosmetic crack out the front. These aren't stuff you really have to worry about. That's the first reason, deferred maintenance. I don't want to touch stuff where I got to put a bunch of money into. Number two is cosmetics. These buildings simply just look better. This is the 1995 building I was just referring to. And in Wichita, and I own two buildings in Wichita. One, I think, was built like 1970 something, and then the other one was built 1995. And let me just show you the difference. The styles have changed. This is the 1970s building. I think it's 1978 or something. So if you see, like, it's the same idea, but these things are this was just better constructed. It has a more modern look. This one is bigger, but I'm just talking and I did pay more, which is going to bring me into the third point. Now that we're past cosmetics and that, yeah, they look better monument signs, the next thing is you're going to pay more for newer property. Apples to apples. I think I paid $60 a square foot for this building, and I paid about $100 a square foot for this building. So I paid more for the newer build, the newer, more modern look. But this one kind of has a cap on the kind of tenants it can attract. Even though they're in the same city, I'm getting 40 to 50% higher rents in this building. Better corner, better part of town as well. That all plays a role, but also better building. So all that plays into a role on what I'm going to end up receiving in rents on this thing. Make sure that's still on. The next thing is the facades, which kind of goes back into the cosmetics here, but like I'd have to spend a lot of money really upgrading this facade. And I can. There are people that take 1970s buildings, invest a lot of money into it, especially if they're in good locations. They really improve them. You can make a 1970s building newer by really cleaning it up, fixing out those the mechanics that we referred to earlier, clean up the facade, and you can make it. You're going to spend a lot of money doing it. So if I wanted to make this resemble this quality, not this exact look, but this quality asset, I'd be in a lot more than $100 square foot. I bought it for 60, and I'd definitely spend more than $40 square foot really upgrading this thing, switching out the electricals and the mechanicals. Now, luckily, this one had some stuff that was changed out already. I had to go in and just do the finishing touches on the mechanicals, and then paint the building, get better signage, things like that. And then the last thing, and I think is one of the most important, is financing and insurance. Insurance, you will pay more insurance for older buildings. Really what it comes down to, especially 1960s, 1950s buildings, you're really going to be paying a lot for that insurance. Once you have knob and tube wiring, you have an older roof, any place that has hurricanes, if you have a roof that's over a certain age, they're going to hammer you with premiums. Lenders also like to see newer buildings. Now, it doesn't mean they won't lend on an older building. I don't know of any lender that has like an age line where they don't lend under, but you may have worse terms, or they'll have certain requirements that you have to do immediately after closing. Like they'll say, hey, we'll fund this property, but within 30 days, you have to change the roof and show us receipts. I've seen that before, and I've been in those situations before. So just the deals are a lot harder to do from a CapEx management perspective, from a financing perspective, but they are cheaper. And I did start with 1950s and 1960s property. My first deal actually was 4017 Jamestown. It was 1929. It was a very old triplex in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then then I moved into the 50s, the 60s, and now I don't buy anything less than 1980s. And something tells me that number is going to continue going up in the future. So that's really why I don't buy buildings older than 1980s. The look decays, the mechanicals decays. Like there's going to be a lot of surprises during ownership of different repairs you got to do, and if you don't budget out those capexes, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Me quickly going over why I only buy newer buildings now. Good luck on your investing journeys. Join us in the school community. That's where we really go in and talk more and share deals and numbers and go back and forth with the numbers. But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.